In the heart of the French Alps, where legends are forged in ice and speed,
We must survive.
the wait is over.
So choose your weapons wise.
After months of silence, the roar of the ice is back. This isn't just a race.
Stand and fight
Looking to find the inside line. It looks like he's done it.
for your life.
Oh my goodness, he slips just to the finish line.
It's the return of the most electrifying spectacle on ice, the fastest sport on skates, and it's harder, colder, and more exciting than ever. In this frozen paradise, there is no room for hesitation. Only courage, precision, and raw speed will carry you to victory. Every fall, every fight, every fraction of a second, it all comes down to this moment. Returning legends, the young and wild, seeking contenders and reigning champions, they all gathered for the return of the pinnacle of winter sports. Now, from Val Thorens, France, this is where the season begins. Ice Cross, back in action.
Back in 2008, Les Trois Vallées was host to one of the original winter cross sports in Maribel. That was the Swatch Motocross World Tour. Today, we open the 24-25 Ice Cross downhill season in an epic way, bringing back the grandeur of 500-level event competitions on an impressive track here in Val Thorens. Athletes from around the world have gathered here to compete in the ATSX Ice Cross Downhill World Tour, and the excitement among the racers is palpable. The test for these riders this weekend will be the altitude at 2,300 meters above sea level on top of this challenging track. Speaking of, let's have a rider's eye view with Robin Warling.
Thanks, Troy. Just getting ready for the green light here. Okay, Robin. And there it is. Okay, we are good to go. So we got a nice big floater to start here. I like to stay low on these. Then straight into a super sharp chicane. We got a table at the end. You should be able to jump. Now we gotta watch out for these rollers and really concentrate on race line here, because here comes the steepest part of the course, big pre-jump. Okay, now things are starting to get really narrow. Got another table, and now it's an all-out sprint to the finish. 2 more rollers. Woo! And let me tell you, at 7,500 feet, we are gonna be feeling this altitude. All right, Troy, sending it back up top to you.
Great view of this track from Robin, and he's not wrong. These riders will need to be fit to deal with the thin air up here, and that will be made doubly hard because of the snowfall. Snow is not a friend to the ice crosser, making the track more difficult to see its nuances and find grip in the corners. This will be white hell for some racers. All right, let's take a look back at some action from the earlier rounds. There we see Wyatt Francoeur, the top contender for this year's Junior World Championship. He got out of the gate real slow, third after the start, but he advanced due to a crash of Denis Tutarikov in the last turn. Another rider to keep an eye on, Arthur Ford, runner-up for the Junior World Championship last year. Got taken out on the first bump with a bit of a foot sweep, but didn't give up, and with an unbelievable comeback, made it to second place, and he advances to the next round. One of our incredible women's racers, Veronica Windisch, last year's women's world champion. Easy heat until a crash at the infamous last turn. Luckily, she was so far ahead, it just didn't matter. She got up and could have walked over the line. Jim De Pauli from Switzerland, one of the perennial favorites, got out to a bit of a slow start against a couple of start experts, Michael Romano and Britton Morris, but he got lucky and advances due to a yard sale in that last turn. So it's clear to see that these athletes are happy to be back on course, but you can also see how this snowfall is affecting the way that they are navigating their way down this course. 40 centimeters of accumulation since noon. That's a snow day in the western provinces of Canada. The ice is in good condition, just one problem in that last turn. And let's get into some heats here in the quarterfinal. Heat 1 with Jack Schramm, Robin Warling, Laurent Goulet-Gournaud, otherwise known as GD, and Vladislav Ivanov. Boy, Ivanov exploded out of that gate, gets an early lead here, but it's Robin Warling pulling ahead of him and taking over the overall lead. A bit of a tangle behind Warling as they come down into this long straightaway, navigating through those rollers, and you can see that snowfall coming heavy as they come around that last corner. Got to be careful here into this long straightaway. There's that big drop heading down towards the finish line. And it's going to be a tight one here for that second spot. Robin Warling's got this one locked down. He's got the lead, but it's Ivanov with a strong second position there, who gave up that quick hole shot, but managed to come across the line in a qualifying spot. Great job. Taking a look back at the slow-mo, you can see Ivanov had a quick start, but Robin Warling right down the middle took over the lead quickly on that first set of step-ups and basically never gave it up. And here in that corner right there, boy, that was a great battle for that second position, but Ivanov came through victorious in that one. Should point out this is the first time Russian athletes will be racing again. ATSX follows the recommendations of the IOC, so they're considered neutral athletes at the moment. All right, heat number 2, we've got Britton Morris, Theo Richalet, Dmitry Merlichkin, and Jim DePauli. Watch out for Britton Morris off the start. He is very quick, but he really struggles through the middles of these tracks. So if he can stay in good position, he may well have a good sprint to the finish. Here we go. And they're on course, and as expected, Britton Morris gets out to a quick start there, but Merlichkin squeezes in on the inside. Oh, DePauli with a greasy move on that corner and gets out into the lead. So Jim DePauli with the lead at the moment. Dmitry Merlichkin right behind him, but he's got Britton Morris right on his backside. DePauli with the lead. It is Britton Morris fighting hard to try and find a line. Watch out for Morris as they come down towards that last finish sprint. He's very solid here. DePauli looking like he's going to take it, but here comes Morris. Oh, and Morris crosses just ahead of DePauli. I think that might even be a photo finish. Great start from Britton Morris, but he really needs to work on maintaining speed over some of those jumps as you saw in that first one. He dropped back to third place there as Merlichkin actually had a good position ahead of him, but at the finish, boy, Britton Morris has got some power in those legs of his. For being a small man, he can really move in the sprint finish. And there it is. Oh, just ahead of DePauli. So official results, Britton Morris and Jim DePauli moving on to the semifinals. All right, next heat coming up, heat number 3 with Linus Ollikainen, Michael Urban, Lukas Korsatansky, and Patrick Mertz. Should be a very good heat here. Keep an eye on the start of Michael Urban. He has been a perennial good rider the last few years. Yeah, and Michael Urban out to a good start in the black and white there as he gets that first corner in the lead. Right behind him, though, is Linus Ollikainen and then Patrick Mertz, followed by Lukas Korsatansky. This one's pretty close here as Urban starts to open up the lead now a little bit as they come down that step down. Ollikainen still holding on to second place. Patrick Mertz looking to try and get by him. Ollikainen's a big body. That's going to be a tough battle for Mertz, who is a much smaller man. And it is Michael Urban, then Ollikainen getting through. Patrick Mertz coming in third place there. Just couldn't get by the big, broad shoulders of Linus Ollikainen. Here you can see a nice, solid start by Michael Urban. Lukas Korsatansky struggling a little bit. He's had problems with his knee, so he was a little bit compromised right off the start there. And that battle between Mertz and Ollikainen, wow. 2 times Mertz tried to make it past the big man, but Ollikainen just too strong, too solid. No chance there, and Ollikainen makes it across in second. And in fact, it was Korsatansky coming across in third place when Mertz in fourth. So there you go, final results. It is going to be Urban and Ollikainen going to the semis. All right, last heat in the quarterfinals here. We have Thibaut Fauconnet, Jack Beetson, Richard van Wiehe, and Martin Nawlowski. Should point out that Fauconnet is a 4-time Olympian in short track and national trainer for short track. Van Via is the oldest man in the competition at 39 years old, still relevant. Fantastic for Richard, and he is a family man, so his family definitely going to be behind him here in this one as he tries to sneak into second place, but just can't quite get by Fauconnet. Then he gets tangled up with Nalovsky. The two of them go down, leaving it wide open for Jack Beatson out in front and Fauconnet in second place, and those two guys will cruise to the finish here and move on to the next round. And that snow continues to fall. It's not going to make these lives any easier for the athletes on course, as there you see Beatson and Fauconnet across that finish line. There comes Richard van Viehe, and finally it will be Nalovsky joining them in the finish area. You can see here Richard van Viehe. He is a very smart skater, but tried to get on the inside line. He got tangled up with Nalovsky. The two of them go down, and there you see official results: Jack Beatson and Thibaut Fauconnet advancing to the semifinals. Val Thorens is known as a safe bet to have snow and cold weather in early December, but Mother Nature never provides guarantees other than she'll make your life interesting at the most inopportune times. Chris Papillon and the track crew had a few hiccups on the way to the end result.
We've been through a lot of emotions, hard work, as well different temperature and weather. So we started on the 10th of November. We were able to work jacketless, just t-shirts and working around. That was cool. No snow around. It was a bit scary, I would say, because obviously we're a winter sport and we need the coldness. We managed to do ice for a few days, and then we lost pretty much everything. In 2 days it was like +10, sunny. We thought at some point that if the temperature would stay like this, obviously the race could be in jeopardy. We used our experience and the knowledge to protect what we could build. We brought some felt carpet to cover the ice to avoid sun hitting the ice, so it was really acting as isolation against the warm temperature. We got lucky at the end. We had really great cold nights 2 times just the week before the event, so we could finally get the quality ice that the athletes deserve. Now the riders are on site, they see what they have. Feels like they're happy to see it. There's awesome track behind, and that gives them the will and intention to support. You know, they do it with fun, so it's as well super motivating. We're all obviously passionate by the sport, and it's just like a reunion. There's no racers, riders, competitors, fighting emotions, whatever. It's just like, hey, let's get this in the best condition we can get so we can have fun racing on that track.
Many hands make light work, as they say, and an incredible effort by the team around Chris Papillon, Jim De Pauli, and Jérôme Auria getting this track ready for race day with not much sleep and everyone pitching in to help. You can clearly see it's a passion for all as much as it is a competition, so big shout out to the whole crew. All right, here we go with the semifinals for our women. In Heat 1, we've got Sarah Siebold, Veronica Windisch, Amandine Condrieu, and Susanna Driscoll, with Veronica Windisch getting out to a massive lead there. And we see Veronica way out in front. Sarah Siebold in second place there, battling and getting into that final. And it looked like it was Amandine Condrieu coming in third place, Susanna Driscoll in fourth. In the next heat, we had Jordan Schwejak, Anis Moran-Schiboz, Justine Zonne, and Virginie Schneider in this one. And this was a return to action by Anis Moran-Schiboz after a couple of years off and a couple of kids. But this one is owned by Justine Zonne, who comes across the finish line in first place. And it was pretty close for second, with Anis Moran taking it. So far, so good for the fans. There are plenty of them on the sidelines watching this Ice Cross Downhill opener of the season for 24-25. And here we go with men's semifinal Heat 1. Vladislav Ivanov, Jim De Pauli, Robin Warling, and Britton Morris. I was really impressed with Ivanov's start in his quarterfinal heat, so I'm going to watch him really closely here. Oh my goodness, look at that start. All 4 guys shoulder to shoulder on that step up into the first turn, and it looked like it's Robin Warling out in the lead with Jim De Pauli right behind him as they start to separate a little bit from Britton and Ivanov. And there's a great view from Jim De Pauli's head camera of Robin Warling up front. Robin is such a good glider on these tracks, but I tell you what, that snow is not making this easy at all. And here comes Britton Morris using that sprint speed from behind, but he's not going to do it this time against DePauli, as DePauli and Robin Warling will move on to the final. And look at how spent Robin Warling is. He put nearly everything into that one. He needs to save a little bit of energy as they are going to the final, and both of them are absolutely dusted. Look again at that start. Boy, all four of them up that step up together, and it was only right here with a little bit of a squeaky move to the front that Robin Warling pulled ahead of Jim DePauli, and the two of them had that at the finish line. But Britton Morris made a push for it at the end. Official results, Robin Warling and Jim DePauli moving on to the final. Semi-final number 2 with Linus Ollikainen, Jack Beatson, Michael Urban, and Thibaut Fauconnet. Here we go. All right, a good even start again. These are evenly matched heats getting out of the gate, but Michael Urban with a little bit of a nicer step up, and he gets through that corner first. With Ollikainen holding off Fauconnet. Oh, no, excuse me. That's Jack Beatson in third place right now, but Ollikainen, as we saw before, is such a big man. Hard to get by him. Right now, Michael Urban absolutely owning this one. Ollikainen goes down, leaves the gate wide open for Beatson to come through, and that means Beatson is going to take advantage of the mistake of Ollikainen and move to the final. Good to be lucky and lucky to be good. Michael Urban still looking fresh. He is a CrossFit instructor, so you know he's fit. And Jack Beatson absolutely over the moon about making it to that final. Good job by him to stay on his feet and take advantage. Let's look back here. What a really nice start by all four of these guys. But Michael Urban, he is a smart competitor. He knows a good lane choice. Gate choice was his as well. And he took over. And right there, oh, that was a tough toe pick by Ollikainen as he goes down. And Beatson, good headspace for him to manage to skate by. Oh, he almost got tangled up with Fauconnet as well, but he stayed on his feet, and he is in the final. So there you go. It's official. Michael Urban and Jack Beatson in the final. So that was it for the semifinals, and before we continue to the final, here's a video of our athletes reacting to some good news.
Does it look good?
I have no idea what the purpose of this interview is.
I don't know, is there any surprise coming up behind us or?
Oh!
Nice.
Oh!
I don't know if this is good to watch before we practice.
We're looking at this app called Privé.
Privé?
Is that correct how you say? So we see these categories.
I see some clips.
Oh, crashes?
We have some gnarly crashes in this sport.
We're gonna switch to the next category.
This is ice cross.
No, this is cool. Like, I like the categories.
I love it, and it's an actual app that we would be able to download. What a great idea. It's easy, it's a quick download of an app that brings the community together. I think that's great.
Privé is a new partner for ice cross exclusive content.
To help us promote the sport, scan the QR code.
That's where you find the exclusive content, so go for it and sign up.
Well, thanks for having us.
If you're a fan of the sport, our ice cross community is on Privé, and it is the place to be. Scan the QR code and join for free today. You know I'm doing it. All right, we are down to our 3 final heats. That is the juniors, that is the women, and that is the men. First final to run will be our juniors, Maël Rudau, Arthur Fort, Jack Beatson, and Stefan Vaziabel. All right away, Jack Beatson gets out to a nice start there with Arthur Fort. The two of them out in the lead with Jack Beatson taking that top spot for the moment. Oh, a little bit of scrubbing on the wall by Arthur Fort as he slowed himself down some, and he is being chased down hard now by Vaziabel, but it is going to be Jack Beatson dropping in for that long stretch to the finish. You can see that red dot on the ground. Jack Beatson's got this one locked down. with Arthur Fort right behind him. That's 1 and 2, and it's going to be Fastiable in third place, and Maël Radau coming in fourth place there. So our podium is set. On top for the juniors is Jack Beatson. Arthur Fort clearly disappointed. He thought he had more and really wanted it, but he is second place on the podium. That's a silver medal for him. And Jack Beatson, he's going to be super pleased.
Let's go!
Right out of the gate there, you can see Jack Beatson using those long legs to get those first few strides and get himself a fairly decent position. Arthur Fort, though, is a very good skater, a very good glider, and he did not let Jack get too far away from him. At this point here, Jack had really good control of this race, and he just kept going, didn't look back, and he needed to stay on his feet. And over those rollers in and across the finish line, he took this one down fair and square with Arthur Fort in second place. Official results, Jack Beatson wins this one, Arthur Fort in second place, Stefan Fastiable in third place, and Maël Radau in fourth place. And Stefan, if I butchered your name throughout this last heat, apologies. I'll get it right next time around.
It was unbelievable. I mean, I started sluggish, I was a little tired, and then all of a sudden I was going into the final, and everything just clicked. It was a great race. It was hard considering all the snow on the ground, but I was able to just stay on my feet, push through it. It was an amazing race.
Jack seems to have accumulated as much snow on his head as was on the ground for that interview. Okay, it is now time for the women's final, but before we get to that race, we're going to hear from a lady that we haven't seen in the last couple of years.
Yeah, after 4 years and 2 kids, I feel totally different, but I still feel good and excited. I'd love to stand on the podium and give my best to reach that.
All right, here's the lineup for your women's final. Veronica Windisch, Sarah Siebold, Justine Zonne, and Anis Morand-Chiboz. Here we go. Good start by Anis Morand to get right up there with Veronica Windisch. Oh, she doubles that step up and leaves the door open for Justine Zonne to sneak through with some good gliding. And Anis Morand falling back a little bit in this heavy snowfall. Justine Zonne in second place behind Veronica Windisch, and you can see there is just a ton of snow on this track, slowing everything down. Anis Morand opening up the lead now a little bit on Sarah Siebold in fourth place, but it's looking like this is going to be all Veronica Windisch here as she will come across that finish line, winning it again. And Justine Zonne in second place with Anis Morand making it to the podium, as was her desire, and she takes third place. So the finish line celebration ensues with Veronica Windisch taking a deserved win here. She is so strong, so good at that start, getting out of the gate quickly, and of course her glide is phenomenal. Let's look at this again. Look at that start from Veronica Windisch right there, but Anis Morand-Chiboz right there with her. She doubles though on that step up, and that's where she loses a little bit of positioning with Justine Zonne being able to glide through and just walk over that step up, and that's what the advantage was for that second position. But Veronica Windisch, an unbelievable finish for her. She was dominant last season for 23. She won the whole thing, and she's starting off strong this year as well, looking very good to really solidify herself as one of the absolute best in the sport.
The race was great for me. I mean, my goal was to be happy of myself, and I achieved that. Podium is always so much fun with those two strong girls and me after those two babies and not much training. I'm so happy to be here and take third place.
Yeah, the conditions were different than in the days before. So to handle the snow, it was really difficult for the organizers. But they did a really good job on the track, and it held it pretty good till the end.
All right, here we go with our men's final. Jack Beatson in this one. He's been busy today. Robin Warling, who is one of the absolute favorites. Michael Urban, so strong on the start and a great glider. And, of course, Jim DePauli, one of the most fit guys out there. He has been solid all day as well. Let's see who is going to take this one down to the finish line.
Ready! 5-second warning!
Great start by all four guys. Oh, Michael Urban got a little bit tangled up there. I think he might have hit a groove in the ice. He's sitting in third place right now. Jim DePauli fighting with them, and the two of them connect a little bit, and Urban comes out in front, moving into second place. Robin Warling with a good 10-meter lead on Michael Urban at the moment. Robin Warling's been so dominant on this track all day long, as we see some good POV shots from way in the back there, but Robin Warling's got this one locked down. Michael Urban, by virtue of a little bit of contact with Jim DePauli, ends up in second place, and Jim DePauli takes third place, and they end up in the finish line in an absolute heap of humanity. And I should point out, after a busy day of racing, Jack Beatson still had some legs to go for a hard sprint to the finish, but I think he'll end up in fourth place there, waiting for the official results to come back. Watch this start again. Really nice start by all four guys. Now watch Michael Urban here as he gets connected with Jim DePauli. The two of them kind of tangle up a bit. A little bit of pushing and shoving and scrubbing, but scrubbing is racing. And Michael Urban actually comes out ahead. But watch the sprint by Jack Beatson. He just gets on his horse and rides, and he almost caught up with Michael Urban with Jim DePauli across the finish line. But it's the tip of the skate blade. Let's watch in the photo finish here. Oh boy, was that ever close. And there was an elbow in the way, so that's a really hard one to tell, but I'm going to give this one to Jim DePauli. Official results have Robin Warling on top in first place, Michael Urban in second, and Jim DePauli with his long legs in third place.
The racing conditions were tough. I mean, you can tell now it's still snowing like crazy. So it was a bit slower and hard to see the cracks in the holes, but yeah, kind of just took it one heat at a time, and was lucky to come out on top.
What a weekend of racing here in Val Thorens for the opening of the 24-25 Ice Cross Downhill World Championship season. For the juniors, we've got Jack Beatson taking the win with Arthur Fort in second place and Stefan Kasiabel in third. For our women, of course, we have Veronica Windisch up top with Justine Zonna and Anis Moran-Shibos in third place. And our men's final, Robin Warling, Michael Urban, and Jim DePauli 1, 2, and 3. Big congratulations to all of our finalists, and especially to the crew that put this track together. Next up will be Winterleiten in Austria, which is always a treat to see. I hope you enjoyed this fantastic opener to the ATSX World Championship season and will join us for the upcoming events. Till then, I'm Troy Mannering signing off. Take care and see you next race.